all day. You see? The secret that he played all day. He know that if you was to willingly leave him, he dies.
Think about it. Where are all the food? Where are all the flicking natural resources? Where all these things come from? Who producing these things? The white man will sit in his shop and cross his leg, and the black man will be out there in the field laboring, bring the stuff to him for him to sell back to you.
Yeah.
If you decide I ain't bringing you nothing, what happened to him? Just like you say.
You see?
He can't come out here and work in an environment like
Exactly. And the concept that he brought slaves from the continent just to briefly destroy this myth.
you. Yeah.
He never brought slaves. He brought the best. He brought scientists. He brought physicians. He brought the best thinkers of the continent.
Yep.
And for those who do not believe this, let me show you something. If in fact, this is a known fact among us, anyone involved in business know. If Europe had skilled men at that time, and the laborers, the workforce that Europe had,
Yep.
and if they were skilled in knowledge,
Yep.
wouldn't it have been easier to take the Europeans and bring them here and use their knowledge? Why would they need you? You who was, according to their record, subverting at every chance, killing them at every chance,
Yep.
trying to get away at every chance. That's more money they got to take to train you. You know, before any job, you take on any job, you got to go through a training period.
Right.
So that destroyed that myth that you came over here with nothing. No. Listen, there's reams of information that when the British singled us out on the continent of West Africa, they were singling out people who were familiar with agriculture, how to make things grow. They did not have this knowledge. They were singling out people who understood astronomy and astrology and physical properties that we would call our energy systems and things. This is what they were engaging. We were and still are an unbelievable people. We just was taught not to believe in ourselves. We were taught not to believe in ourselves. If we want to go back right now to what is black, we find what is true. As long as we stay in the concept of what is white, we remain blind. You can only see the stars. You think it's by chance, and you can only see the stars and what we call the planetary system on the backdrop at night. And that when it's light, the sun, you blinded, you can't see none of that. You think that's by chance? No. So, brothers and sisters, again, this information simply just isn't about sitting down and chopping it up and trying to sound intelligent or look intelligent, but this is about understanding the condition of our country, why we're in the condition we're in today, where we came from, where we have gone wrong, why our leaders has failed us. These are questions that we ask ourselves for the last 47 years as Bahamians.
Can't figure it out.
And can't figure it out because we're operating underneath a wrong playbook. We're operating underneath a playbook that our children has given to us. And as long as we don't take it, rip that up to shreds and burn that and destroy that and reintroduce our playbook, we don't move nowhere.
Yeah.
So again, the time is now, man. The time is now. And it involves all of us getting together right now to make this work. No one single one of us have the information. The ancestors were so wise that they allowed, and even now you see it in our nation, no one group have the information. No one party, political party, could save this nation. Because the whole nation is a government unto itself.
Yep.
But as a collective people, collective national people, when we all collectively bring this information together, we bring back and begin to operate on that single truth.
Yep.
This is how we're going to change this nation right now. So again, I'm calling out again all the men and women who have been petitioning in some form or fashion, who have been involved in the process of gaining to whatever form or fashion, to let's come together. Let's hold an audience. We don't need all these individual parties to defeat the purpose. You see, we don't need no person that we must elect to govern us. You see, each of us, it was designed for each of us to collectively come together and to become involved in our collective group government. Until we understand this, we don't move anywhere. No PLP, no FNM, no DNA, no party can take us out of the condition we're in right now. Each of us have information that we must all collectively make complement and build upon and move forward upon it. But I can tell you, this I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if I know nothing else. The true change that is going to occur among the black peoples of the world, and by association, the world, is going to begin right here. There is a special people right here called Bahamian Nationals. And there is a duty that only the Bahamian National could assume right now. No other group of people, even black people.
But let me ask you a question. So, most nations, most black nations around the world have already been totally conquered and taken over by the Caucasian race. And you say it have to start with the black people. Who are these people called Bahamians? Are they from this tribe of Israel? And where do they sit in the tribe of Israel? What was their mandate? What was their responsibility?
According to the information from the ancestors, and again, this can be proven beyond the shadow of a doubt, the people that are misnomed Bahamians today are actually from the tribe, from the nation, no tribe, because that's another term that has been fostered upon us by the pale man, but has been of the nation of Yehuda, that is called Judah. Judah was the ruling nation at that time among 12 brethren, and their rule was no common rule. There were certain sciences that they understood that entailed the connection, the complementary connection of the cosmological, the astral, and the physical. They understood that these three must always comport to produce a unity and a cooperation, a cohesion, a collectivism, and a communalism in everything. They understood that these what they call this tri-unity existed throughout nature. And in order for anything to be reproduced, these qualities, these three qualities or aspects have to be done there. So the small segment of people is from the nation of Yehuda that we call Judah today. And the ancestors had always promised, as there were promised, and as I could repeat to you from thousands of years ago, where it was proclaimed that children would rule over you, and now we understand the information what that means, that the children that would come from you, who would come out of you but not be of you, who would go and become and take on features and a psychological concept that will become different from you, who would now have the rule from you. It also speaks of a time where the information would always be held in its purity among a segment of the people. And it described that time as when Shiloh comes, the people would be gathered. Not a person, but a particular period of in time in which an office would be reproduced, in which certain events would occur that would show that Shiloh has returned. And we say unabashedly, unapologetically, Shiloh has returned and is here. To give you a brief example, how beyond the shadow of a doubt I know for a fact it is this nation. Several years ago, anyone familiar with Jamaican politics, underneath Portia Simpson at the time, the then Jamaican Prime Minister, she gave a beautiful speech in which she said that it was time that Jamaica divorce herself from her involvement with Britain and would become a separate and sovereign nation. Instantly, when I heard that, I told my Jamaican brethren it would not happen at Jamaica, because first of all, Jamaica is the nation of Levy, and Levy has its unique place in the greater scheme of the 12 nations. Haiti is not Levy, as most people are wrongly proclaimed through the information from the sons of Joseph, who claim that they are Judah. Haiti is the first son, the son of Joseph. The son of Reuben. You see? And so I knew that it would not have occurred at Levy. Recently, I don't know if you all heard, during the lockdown, there was some shuffling from Barbados. Watch what I'm going to say now. Western Judah. That's a discussion for a whole different time. But there was discussion from Barbados where there were rumblings that they were going to what? Break away from the... And I smile too. I smile at that too. It is here. It is here. And only from here, the black world as we know it will be radically changed. That the black world as we know it is going to be formed into one cohesive form that will never be broken again. That black rule would come again upon this earth.